as well as Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410, the newest author of Wise Women Empower Women, and a real estate investor. So if anyone is looking to sell their property 3 days, less than a month, no extra fees, reach out to me. That is who I am. And of course, a mom of 3 beautiful girls. I can't forget my children, with all of that there. But enough about me. I'm going to pass it over to my guest and let her introduce herself to all the listeners.
Yes, so thank you so much, Jennifer. My name is Jennifer as well. So that's
the best name ever.
Exactly. And I am the founder and president for Fempreneur Poder Hub. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping micro business owners. And then we also help with financial literacy, one-on-one business consultations. We also do vendor specialty pop-ups, and we also do grant opportunities. So we recently released our micro grant opportunity of $500 to any micro business owner, and we have it live on our Instagram for anyone that's interested also in applying for that. And we also connect them with a few grants through the state and other resources.
That's super cool. So tell me or explain to the listeners and the viewers, what is a micro business? Like, what's the definition of that?
Yeah, so micro business is technically someone who runs everything. So they do not have any employees. They might have volunteers, which is something that we're okay with. Okay. And then they're making less than $80,000 a year.
Okay, so solo entrepreneurs, essentially.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and is there a specific, for this micro entrepreneur, do they have to do their taxes in a specific way? Because you need to make sure they make under 80K. What is the qualification to verify they're a micro business?
Yes, so all of those details are going to be within the form that we have for them to fill out, but the qualifications are pretty straightforward. We are not going to be asking for their tax returns. That is something that, it's very personal to individuals. Sure. But as long as they provide any other form of identification, right, there's other various forms, such as like if you're receiving some sort of incentive from CETA, WIC, those resources, then we can use that to prove that you're making less than 80.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. So, and the grant right now that you have is 500, you said?
Yes, 500, and 4 lucky winners are going to be the recipients of that micro grant opportunity.
Nice. And then you also do, you said funding. So can you explain a little bit about that?
So it's not technically funding. We basically provide grant resources to them. So we send out a newsletter with all the funding available through the state and other organizations that provide funding for micro business owners or solo entrepreneurs or small business. And what ends up technically happening is that if they have questions about how to write a grant or where to find the eligibility requirements, we help support them with that initiative so that they understand and prepare themselves for that grant opportunity.
Pretty cool. So what led you, so take us back. You look young. Take us back.
You do too.
But I'm not. So how did all of this start? What led you to start this? It's a 501c3, right? It's a nonprofit.
Yes.
What led you to this?
Yeah, so there are different circumstances that actually led me to this. And it has been a lot of it my background, right? I grew up in a household where it was only my mother raising us 2 kids. Our father was an abuser, so we ran from domestic violence. We ended up on the streets. So I understood right away that I had to fend for myself and not depend on anyone else. So economic development and also financial literacy are 2 components of the biggest things that I fully develop and ask questions, and also tell people that in order for you to be, financially stable, you actually need to learn how to navigate your finances as well. True. So that is what we do.
True. Do you have a specific demographic that you service? Is it mainly women? Is it everybody? I mean, of course it's everybody, but like, who do you mainly serve?
Yeah, so our primary targets are Black and Latinx women, and that's why we're part of, certain collectives where we talk about what can we do to help enhance these underserved communities.
Wow, that's pretty cool that you do that. I did see that you studied women gender studies, and I was like, oh, okay, I remember those classes when I was an undergrad. That's all good stuff. So you started this organization, and how is it going so far? Like, how do you feel running a nonprofit? you know?
Well, I think that it's different from running an LLC or an S corp for sure.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
I think with nonprofits, there's more compliance and a lot of rules and regulations. So it is a little bit more harder, and you're also bound to certain rules. So it is really difficult for a smaller nonprofit such as myself to get going and also get more grant funding. We have been lucky enough to be grant funded, so that is always a good initiative.
Yes.
So for the past 3 years, we have received grants from different foundations and banking institutions.
Oh, that's wonderful.
However, in order for us to grow, we also need to make sure that we're, just being out there and being productive. And networking is one of the biggest things. Without networking, a nonprofit does not grow, right? So,
Sure.
We do a lot of like hands-on initiatives where we go out there and see what's available as far as funding, but also starting those relationships without building that trust, right? And if you need that trust, you also need to make sure that you're maintaining the relationships, right? Saying hello every month or sending them an invitation to your own events.
Absolutely. Okay, so take me, what neighborhood? Now, you're a Chicagoan?
Yes, I am.
Born and raised?
No.
Oh, okay.
Born in LA, raised here.
Born in LA, you're like, no. So here raised, what neighborhood were you raised in Chicago? Just curious.
Albany Park, and love that.
Oh, damn. Oh, no. I was raised in Albany Park, too. What high school did you go to? I'm just curious.
I did not go to my local high school. I went to Lakeview.
Oh, yeah. Good idea. I was like, good job. But definitely Albany Park has gotten better. Albany Park is a great community. I was born and raised. Well, I was raised in, I was born in Uptown, raised in Albany Park. So definitely went to Roosevelt High School. That's in that neighborhood. So, back in the day. So you are Chicagoan. So how do you feel? Do you go back to Albany Park? Do you go back to your neighborhood and help the small businesses, especially women, Black and brown women?
All the time. Albany Park is always going to be near and dear to my heart. I actually wrote a book as well.
Okay, tell me about it. This is exciting.
So I'm a co-author for a nonprofit as well, or like a semi-nonprofit called United Latinas. And I was one of their initial volumes. I believe it was volume 2 or 3.
Okay.
And I also talked about Albany Park because Albany Park had a very big impact on me because the
I'm sure it did.
of the community. And
joking.
you know this. There was so much Korean, Latino influence.
Yes. Albany Park is actually one of the most diverse communities in Chicago, and a lot of people don't know that.
Exactly.
And for those that are listening, Albany Park is actually, where is it? I would say anywhere from, what was it, like Lawrence and California, all the way to like Lawrence and Irving Park, maybe? No, not Irving Park. Pulaski, or is it
Pulaski?
Pulaski, and then probably as far north up to maybe Peterson?
Yes.
And then as far south as maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like Addison maybe, or Irving Park Road?
Irving Park Road.
Probably. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like and when I grew up in Albany Park, like I just remember like going to school and it was like every race you could think of, right? Like I went to even the neighborhood grammar school and it was like they had International Day and we would try different foods and everything from African, every Latino culture you could think of, right? Hondureñas, Colombians, Venezuelans, like all of it, right? So it was great to be around. And then every type of Asian you could think of, yes. Right? Like I remember like a lot of my friends were Cambodians. I had a lot of Cambodian friends.
Filipinos.
Yeah. So it was just like, wow. Like it was, and then like my group of friends were just always so diverse, black, white, it was just everything. So it was such a great experience growing up in Albany Park. Yes. It had its pluses and its minuses, right?
Yes, absolutely. With any neighborhood, I think that's one of the things is like one of the biggest things for me is making sure that we understand that each community and each neighborhood has a diamond, has a gem. We just are not aware because we tend to stay within the restrictions that we believe are like, oh, that's too scary to go that, or that's way too south to go down there.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people don't like to leave their neighborhoods. Like a lot of people, especially the Hispanic community, it's like the older generation is like work, home, work, and maybe like the neighborhood taco spot, like, you know, right? Like, am I lying? Right? But I enjoyed, like, let's explore a different neighborhood. Let's go somewhere different. Let's try a different food, like ethnic food. Maybe it's because we were raised in Albany Park. I don't know. You know, that's pretty cool. So you went to Lakeview, and where'd you do your undergrad work at?
My undergrad was at Wilbur Wright College, Northeastern. So both of those schools.
That's super cool. So now you have this nonprofit organization. You're married, kids. How are you managing it all?
Yeah, so I am married. I received the full support of my husband, and
Nice.
I do have 3 kids. One of them is an adult, and he's a CPD officer, so very proud mom.
Oh, you do not look like you have an adult son. That's awesome.
Love him to death.
Yes. Okay, so you have 3 kids. So how do you balance having the nonprofit? Thank you for all the support. I see you on social media. How do you balance that all, right? Like mom, wife, nonprofit organization. You're out here networking. Like what are your tips and tricks for all of that?
I think with any mom that you ask that, right, it is one of the things that we learn how to navigate real quick. And I'm sure you do too, right? Because you yourself are a mom. But one of the biggest things is just leaning on my community. I lean on my mom. She retired this year. So, you know, she's been very supportive. My husband, you know, we do night shifts. If I have to go network in the evening, he'll take over the responsibilities of taking care of the children.
That's nice.
And then also, in and of itself, there's programs with schools or other moms that are willing to help support you, and just, you know, finding your tribe in order for you to do that. I've just been so blessed enough in my life to be able to, you know, balance it all. It's not easy. I'm not going to say sometimes I don't sleep because I'm creating lists in my head about what I need to do and tackle the next day.
Yeah, the whole non-sleeping because you have tasks. I that resonates with me a lot, and anyone that's, you know, listening, if you get what we're talking about, right? Like you're busy, you're running, you have a project, you have multiple things on your plate. It's like, oh, I got to do this tomorrow, and you're thinking about it, and it's really stressful. So kudos to you for balancing it all, right, and doing it. So if you guys are just tuning in, we're interviewing Jennifer Franco, and we're talking with her about her non-for-profit organization, which is Fempreneur Hub, or Fempreneur Poder Hub, right?
Yes, correct.
And she's just sharing with us how she finds resources for mainly Black and brown business owners, women business owners, but anyone could take advantage of this, correct?
Yes, correct.
Awesome. So, and you were raised in the city, you're Chicago, and you even have a son that's an adult son that's a Chicago police officer, which is awesome. So, you know, what are some things that you're working on right now to kind of get the word out of what you're doing?
Yeah, a lot of collaboration. I think one of the biggest things is making sure you find the right individuals and the right organizations to kind of help support your leadership. I've been just very blessed to have individuals to be able to help support me. And also like Diana Alfaro, as you know, from the Illinois Department of Commerce, she's been a big blessing to me, just being able to put me in opportunities and connecting me with individuals.
Yeah, shout out to Diana.
Yes, definitely. And then just in and of itself, I've found smaller individuals that are really not part of the nonprofit community, but want to help enhance, you know, your leadership. And that has been always something that I have been very blessed with, where I can find individuals that are willing to mentor you, willing to give you nuggets. But the next step for me in the nonprofit world is considering becoming a CDFI, a community development financial institution. So we want our nonprofit to actually be a banking source, a bank for the community, by the community.
Oh, that's super cool. So sounds like a credit, like, well, maybe I'm wrong, credit union kind of similar, or like a tanda kind of, like, what are we looking at here?
Credit union, similarly to that, but it's a CDFI, which means we have to do a lot of investigation and reporting on the ground, which means we would need to talk to the community to see what their needs are.
Okay.
And do a feasibility study to see if something that they would like to have, which it has proven that it is necessary, because there are CDFIs that are not serving these micro business owners, and therefore therefore I started the nonprofit with that in mind, understanding that there needs to be investment in the micro business community because therefore they cannot grow or go to the next stage. And that's what we want, making sure that they're growing and fully going on to the next phase.
Yeah, I was kind of glancing at your Instagram. So if anyone, you could shout out the Instagram handle at the end. I saw that you were like support Latin-owned businesses. Like I guess you were going around and going to different things. Why is that important for you? Why do you do things like that?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that I've realized, and you know this, growing in Albany Park, you see the street vendors, you see the people that in your community are selling tamales from, their own homes or doing X, Y, and Z, right? And I've always seen that in my community. So my background is Guatemalan, and my family would always go to the nearest places where we knew people in our community that would sell things, right, that were back from our home country.
Oh, cool.
And one of the biggest things that I realized right away is like, this is an informal economy that people are not tapping into. And we really need to investigate and do a little bit more research to see how we can enhance that community, right? Because one of the biggest things that people do not understand and that the SBA does not actually collect data on is the informal economy and how that is actually producing and actually creating more job opportunities for others, individuals out there. So that is one of my biggest things that I'm focusing on.
Yeah, people don't realize that the tamale lady, like those street vendors, they hustle and they're out there. And I remember like one lady, she told me she would wake up like 2 a.m. to start making the tamales so that it could be out by like 5 a.m. or some nutty time out there, right? So they're out there from like all morning, and you're thinking like, man, these are like hardworking people, right? Like, and they're like, especially if they're Hispanic, right? Like, it's kind of like it's our parents generation, right, that are doing this, or even the younger generation. I don't know, right? I'm older now, so right. But when growing up in Albany Park, all I saw was, like you said, the elote man or the tamale lady or someone selling balloons or cotton candy, or just recently I woke up this morning. This is just so random that I'm thinking about this. Maybe there was a reason why I had to see it. I hate watching negative news on social media. Like, I despise it. Like, I don't want to see nothing negative. Like, I don't wake up to go on my social media to see something negative. But I did see how a woman attacked a child vendor in River North a couple of days ago. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was a child vendor, right, selling flowers. That just broke my heart. One, like, I didn't get to watch the footage because I think I would have gotten upset if I saw the video. But the fact that a grown adult attacked a child, and probably the child was Hispanic, I'm just going to assume, but maybe I shouldn't assume things. But why? Why would you do that, right? Why would people feel so comfortable to attack a child? Like, I swear if I was there, I would have definitely tore it up. But,
yes, absolutely. I did see it yesterday.
You saw it too?
She was a Latina girl.
Of course she is.
And yes, no one should be putting their hands on anyone else, right? Except because they're just trying to make a living, right?
They're just trying to make a living.
But I do have to say, one of the things that I do not agree with is having children at 2 a.m. in the morning as vendors.
Yeah, it was. That was definitely concerning. Well, why is she out at 3 in the morning? In front of a bar. But just recently, I was at an event over the weekend celebrating one of my friends' birthdays in Berwyn, and a street vendor, a kid came in with flowers, in the bar. And I was like, oh, that's what we're doing now, right? Now, mind you, we were all, like a Hispanic, we're all Latinos. So like everyone started taking out their cash and just supporting the little boy, buying the flowers because it was a birthday anyway. So I was like, this is kind of smart. It wasn't as late. It was like 8 or 9 at night. But the fact that you see these children out here being vendors, right? Like, and so, I don't know, sometimes it breaks my heart. It really does, I
think it's a thing for a larger discussion, but I do have to say that regardless, we still have to protect our street vendors.
Absolutely.
Given that they are, again, part of our communities and making sure that they're engaging in a safe and productive environment.
Yeah, and I agree. I know I just saw a comment. Diana said, yeah, that was heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking, right? I mean, but you just sometimes don't know what people are going through that they have to be out in selling things, and why are they selling things. So it's important that what you're doing. So do you have to have I guess this is the next question, to get resources through you, do you have to have an ITIN? Do you have to have a social security? Like, how does that work?
No, we don't judge based on that. Even if you're just thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, we'll still take you and do a consultation for free. We do not charge for any of our services.
Oh, that's really cool. So even students here, if they have businesses, they can come to you and seek some resources.
Yes, that is correct.
I'm just hinting right on the mic, but and this is good that you are talking about this, because I think sometimes entrepreneurs don't know. They don't know the resources that are out there. They don't know that they can tap into funding. They don't know where to go. And I guess that's why I brought you, right? Because I wanted to talk about the summit that's going to be happening tomorrow and promote that, because it's going to be a bunch of resources for entrepreneurs, correct?
Yes, correct. A lot of free resources and many golden nuggets. And there's going to be particular professionals talking about different topics that people do not or are not very experienced about.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. I always love going to like business events or business networking events or anything that's going to provide resources to entrepreneurs. I'm all for that type of stuff, right? Because I think there's just a lack of information, or sometimes people are so, they're so busy working on their business, or what is the saying? Working in your business, not on your business, or is it on your business, not in your business? Which is it? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I have heard police that asked me
It's the second one he said. Second one, right? You're always busy working on your business that you're not working in. No, you're so busy working in your business, not working on your business, right? Sorry, guys, that was too much. That was extra. So I'm curious to find out. Now, this is a coffee chat show, and sometimes I forget to ask my guests, what's your favorite type of coffee? Do you like coffee? Are you a coffee girl or no?
Yes, I'm actually drinking my own cafecito right now. 1 sugar, 1 cup of, a teaspoon of milk.
1 sugar. Well, that's very specific. So just 1 sugar, 1 teaspoon of milk, and that's it. And you're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Oh, okay. That's very straightforward, right? Sometimes people are like, I like lattes and cream and coconut powder. And
I'm not going to lie. I do love lattes, but the problem is that I'm going on a health journey. So I'm trying to limit the sugar intake, because I realize how much that Starbucks latte is costing me.
Yes. Those start. Funny enough, I'm actually breaking down my budget and looking through. I was like, you should be ashamed of yourself how much you just spent this week on coffees and stuff like that. But I definitely can appreciate your honesty, because I think sometimes you're like, oh, it's a quick coffee. It's $6, $7, and that adds up during the week.
Yes,
and then you're like, oh, that could have been a bill. That could have paid off something. So what we're gonna do real quick. Before we go, where can they find you? We're going to be right back. But if someone wants to look for you on Instagram, what's your Instagram handle?
Yes, the Instagram handle is @Fempreneur and the hub is eliminated, but it's just @Fempreneur. And we also have our website is www.fempreneurpoder.com.
Okay, awesome. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a quick short break, and we're going to talk more with Jennifer and learn more about her organization, which is Fempreneur, right? And I love the name. How did you come up with the name?
Funny enough, I actually asked ChatGPT because I always like France, and I actually went to Rome about 2 to 3 years ago, and it came up with that, and I was like, this is awesome.
Really? See, ChatGPT has been helping so many people lately, right? So definitely we're going to take a quick short break, but when we come right back, we're going to talk more about the summit. So make sure you guys, everyone that's listening, watching, you guys stay tuned. WRMN 1410. Thanks. 1410 by going to WRMN1410.com and learn all about the programming and the station there, as well as any additional shows. But we're here talking right now with Jennifer Franco, which Jennifer is like the best name ever, right? Just so you guys know. Did you know that Jennifer means purity? Did you know that okay, cool. Yeah. I was just checking, you know. It does. Don't smile like that, all right? I love my name, okay? But right? Yeah. It's like a unique name. But you know, I got named by the nurse. Oh. I didn't get named by my parents. So
the nurse was like, she's going to be a Jennifer.
Yeah, like so at that time, I don't know, I'm doing this little side note, but my parents didn't really speak English. They were in the hospital. And I just remember my mom wanted to name me Yenny. Like they were saying, like, we want to name her Yenny. Because I guess in the 80s, there was like a soap opera.
My mom named me because of that soap opera.
Oh, really? Oh, look at that. So there was this famous soap opera in Spanish, and the main actress was named Yenny. So my mom wanted to name me that. So when they said that to the nurse was like, okay, let's name her Jennifer then. Mm-hmm. And then you could call her Yenny as a nickname. Like, why? Like, I asked my mom, like, why'd you allow that? You know, but I don't regret it. So all my family says Yenny. No one calls me Jennifer in my family, but I guess here at work, everyone's like Jennifer, Jen, you know, I'm sure you get it too.
I prefer not to be called Jenny. Only my mom. Okay. She's the only one allowed. Otherwise, it's just Jen. Really?
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier. It's like Jen. Just say Jen, right? Yes. Because then you're like, it is a lot of syllables, like Jennifer, right? Like, it's a lot of work. But anyways, that was just a side note. So if you guys are just tuning in, we're talking to Jennifer. She's talking about her non-for-profit and her organization, how she started it, and why so how long has the nonprofit been in existence?
Yeah, so this is going to be our third year in. Okay, so nice. October, we're going to have our celebration, and we're looking forward to, you know, getting people to come out, show support for the organization. And for it to be in its third year, that means that there people interested in the work that we're doing.
I mean, for a business to hit 3 years, right? Like, I'm sure you know statistically, right? I always heard like the first year is always a loss. The second year is always break even. The third year is when you should see profit. Like you're saying, you're seeing actual fruit and people are interested and they like what you're doing, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's hard to have a business. People don't realize, like, most businesses close down after 5 years.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then if you make the first 5 years, the chances are like super higher for the following 5 years to fail, or some crazy stat, right?
And then also one of the biggest things that I tell entrepreneurs or micro business owners is the first year is going to make or break you. So you have to decide right there and there whether you're going to
break you.
Yes. You're going to have to decide whether to keep going or shut it all down. It's a hard decision.
Very much so. And entrepreneurship, I think it teaches you a lot. It teaches you what you're capable of, what you're not capable of. Like, some people are happy just having 9 to 5s. Mm-hmm. And that's cool. Like, do your thing, go to a 9 to 5, enjoy it. But there's some people that like are not meant for 9 to 5s and they just want to make money on their own, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, which one is better for you, right? Yes. And make that decision. Like, I always tell people, like, don't go into business thinking that you're going to run this like a 9 to 5.
And also one of the biggest things or misconception is that social media glamorizes being an entrepreneur. And I'm like, it doesn't look that easy. I mean, people just grab the snippets of what's going well for them, but really don't see the other side of like everything that you have to go through, right? And that means not sleeping, making sure that you figure out how to ship that product, right? Or making sure that if something goes wrong with the shipment, what do you do to make sure that it gets on time to your customer?
Yes. And even to add to what you're saying, it's you losing sleep, but you're working a lot longer. It's not a 9 to 5, it's a 24/7 sometimes. Exactly. Right? It's like sometimes you're dreaming and thinking of dreaming of business and it's crazy. Like, it happens to me all the time. Like, if I have a meeting or something important happening, I'm dreaming about it before it's happening. Like, that just means like I'm being very obsessive at that moment, right? Would you laughing because I think you get it?
It's also the strategy point, right? One of the biggest things is you also in your head are strategizing, like, what do I need to tackle and what are my priorities for the day? And I think that's with any business owner and any mother, right? That's taking on a 9-to-5, but also has her side gig, right? And it's just trying to figure out how to balance it all and what are the hot fires that we need to take care of during the day.
I love that you're saying that. And especially for the entrepreneurs that depend on this as like ends meet, right? Like this is providing for bills. So then like I always would say, like, you have to hunt for the next gig. You have to hunt for the next opportunity. I mean, obviously you're in the nonprofit, so you have to hunt for grants, right? That's how you're getting your source of funding, right?
Yes.
Which it's still hunting, it's still sales, it's still pitching, you know. I hate grant writing, by the way. I did a little bit of grant writing. I remember I had to do it in my 20s and I was like, I will never again do this like in my life. So kudos to you for doing that, because people don't realize you're still selling, but like in paper form, right? You have to convince them, why do you have to give me all this money, right? Like, this is why we're so great. Give me your money. Like, not like that, but you know what I mean?
No, I mean, that is completely true, Jennifer. One of the biggest things that people do not understand about grant writing is people do not know what you're trying to sell until they hear your narrative, your story,
for sure,
right? And you have to tell it just as if you were trying to explain it to a kid, right? So imagine you trying to explain your kid about how does, when your teeth fall off, a new one comes in, right? Because some kids get scared when they see their teeth fall out, right?
For sure.
And it's exactly the same thing. And people don't understand, or they get frightened of like, oh, grant writing is so scary, I'm not going to do it. And they pass out on grant opportunities. But I kid you not, I've seen people that have taken the shot and have started with $10,000, $20,000 in grant funding. And they took that shot. And now there's no excuses, because you have AI, ChatGPT, and all these other sources like Claude that could be able to help you write grant opportunities. So there is no excuse for you to say, I'm scared. Yeah, you could be scared, but now you have a partner with you that could help support you in that process as well.
ChatGPT, there you go. And I'm just like, well, I mean, it is a resource, right? I'm looking at the students like, y'all, like a lot of them are starting up businesses. A lot of them have hustles, a lot of them. So I'm glad that you're here, because they can tap into that world of like, how can I get funding for my business? Because at the end of the day, especially startups, you need money. Whether you realize it or not, like there's some form of like, either you got to invest a lot of time or invest a lot of money, depending on what industry you're going to get into, right? If you're fortunate and you don't have to invest a lot, and it's just, sometimes you just need a laptop, as long as you have a good functioning laptop and you have a skill, yes, you can sell. And I tell my students all the time, there's no reason to be broke. Like, after coming here, I better not hear anything about like you being broke, you not having money, because with these skill sets that you're getting here, which media is a big, like, everyone needs social media content. Everyone needs videos, like, right? There's no reason you should be broke. You should be able to go get a client, be like, hey, can I, do this for $200, and have something in your pocket. That's what I'm always telling them,
I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of students don't realize the full potential that they have available at their hands, because there's always someone willing to hire you. The only thing is, you're not going to start with like a higher price range if you're just a student. You also have to be willing and flexible to negotiate your pricing, as long as it's fair, right? For both consumers. If it's someone that's making more than $100,000 and they're established business, why not charge them a little bit more? But also making sure that you negotiate those prices right up front, because I have had students reach out and ask me like, hey, do you hire for this? And sometimes I'm like, depending on what your rates are looking like, and always having to negotiate. One of the biggest things is, don't be scared of a no, because a no just means no at the moment. It will change later on.
I love that. You
can go back and ask them again later.
I love that. Do you guys hear that? Right? Everyone listening, right? Just because, and I love the fact that you like just how to turn over no's, right? That's like, it's a no right now, but maybe down the road it's something else. And sometimes, like for me, when I'm out there, it's like, okay, maybe it's a no, but maybe we could work in some other capacity. Maybe we could be partners. Maybe you can send me leads. Maybe we're just going to be a good supporter on social media and like all my stuff and share it with your following so that I can get a potential client, right? Like it's a numbers game to me, especially when you're going through so many no's. It's like, okay, well, now what do I do with this person, in business? But I love that you're saying that, you get it, so you've been in business for 3 years. How, prior to that, what were you doing before you launched this nonprofit?
Similar to you, I feel like we have like similar, not only in the name, but like similar paths. So I used to be a higher education, professional for like about 3 years. So the last decade has been in the educational world, anywhere between pre-K to high school. And the last 3 years were in colleges. So I worked for a few different colleges, and one of them was St. Augustine. I've worked at Loyola University as well. I've also worked at St. Xavier University. So those experiences working in career development, as you are.
Oh, so you get this life.
I understand where the need is and where was it that we needed to build something to make a betterment, right? Unfortunately, I couldn't do it at my former job, but now that I have my own nonprofit, I am more than willing to help plug in when I can.
That's awesome. Yeah, we have a lot of similars, actually, a lot more than I realized. Like, we even know like neighborhood old grocery stores. So like I just said, like, do you remember La Playa, which was a little grocery store on the corner on, what was it, Lawrence and Ainsley? Was it Ainsley? Was that
No,
Ainsley?
it's
Leland. Yeah. So you were like, yeah, I remember that. I was like, oh, damn, you really do. You really are from Albany Park, because that's gone. That's gone, right? So you grew up, I'm sorry, I'm getting excited. So you grew up in Albany Park, right? So we have a lot of similarities. We have the same name, right? And you were in career services. So it's kind of like interesting that we're meeting right now. And this is my first time meeting her, y'all. Like, it's my first time actually meeting her, because you're here to actually promote the summit.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about the summit, so that everyone that's listening and watching on social media, what is this summit that's happening and what it's all about?
Yeah, so this is the 4th annual Latinx Economic Summit, and basically it's going to be happening in Aurora. We're going to start off at 9:30, but I ask people to get there early. Registration is free. There is no paying for entry, but this is basically a collaboration between different organizations and in conjunction with the Illinois Department of Commerce. Particularly, again, shout out to Diana Alfaro for bringing all of these collective planning committees together, and also to all of the chambers of commerce, nonprofit organizations, community leaders, and banking institutions that are making this happen.
Yes.
So when you become part of this or attend this event, you're going to see a bunch of resources available to you, and it's going to be happening as far as like banking institutions providing information about different products that are available to small business owners. You're also going to be able to talk to them about different checking accounts for your small business. You're also going to have individuals that have programs and cohorts for you to kind of get the skill sets and get yourself into a fast-paced track in order to learn about small business sources. You're also going to have panel discussions and experts that are going to be talking about, 1, how did they start their small business? 2, experts that are going to talk about contracts. We're also going to have experts talking about AI. And that is one of the biggest things that I was talking to you a little while ago. It's like, there shouldn't be an excuse for you not to do something, because now with the AI information that we have, it is really easy for you to ask it a question and just go from there and do your own development and research.
For sure.
The only thing that's stopping people is the scary part of understanding how it works or how to prompt it. I kid you not, I spent my ChatGPT working on it for 3 years, or probably even more, and it knows me very well that sometimes it even questions me back. That is how deep I've gotten into ChatGPT.
Oh, wow. That's interesting that it's asking you questions.
Yes.
Like, are you sure, Jennifer, you want to do this?
Exactly. It actually does. And that is the greatest thing about people understanding how to maneuver their AI, is that you also have to ask it, like, why are you asking me this question? So talking back to it, like if it was your own business partner.
Which is good, because I guess even if you're thinking about it, like when we're processing thoughts, sometimes there's people that need to process things out loud, right? So if you're having a conversation in regards to like something that you're planning, like for me, I love to like ask questions so it could get me to think about things differently, which that's kind of essentially what you're doing, right? It's asking you questions, you're processing it. You're like, okay, let me throw a question right back at it, because sometimes you don't have someone accessible. You don't have an expert. You can't just get to your mentor, your coach right away. So it's like, well, what can I do real quick to kind of figure this out? So like, I'd like to tell people sometimes I'm an ask hole. And I've said this before. Yeah, he pointed at me. So he's like, you are. So but I do this because I'm not looking for your answer, nor do I want your advice. I just want to hear myself ask you out loud, see what you think about it, but still go with my decision. I'm just being honest, right? Because I do these things because I just like to evaluate and reflect, right? Yeah. So I could see, I'm going to start doing that at ChatGPT, see what it tells me. It's like, leave me alone.
I mean, there are so many platforms out there, even for students that are here at your school. Using Gemini AI right now is something that you can get as a student for free, and you don't have to pay the extra fees of having to do any other like payment or anything like that. But one of the biggest things about that as well is it automatically creates songs for you. It can create, I've even created my own Fempreneur song. Kid you not, I was playing with that as well. Yeah. It does so many things that it eliminates the amount of time you spend on certain things. And I know I've heard people tell me, oh, I don't like AI, or I don't believe that we should be using AI. To each their own.
Sure.
But I do believe that it reduces the amount of time you have to spend. And as a small entrepreneur, micro business owner, you don't want to spend thousands of times, like half a day on one ad that you can put out in ChatGPT, spit out what you want, and then it gives you the product fully and complete with minor edits.
For sure. No, absolutely. And I think it's a tool, right? And sometimes people get afraid of new tools, new things. I mean, I'm sure at some point when the TV came out, people were scared of the TV, right? Like, I mean, if I heard correctly, some people told me they would call it the devil's box, right? So it's like everything that's new, there's always going to be hesitation all revolved around it. We here at the school are actually incorporating AI curriculum now for the students. And we've had students actually create their own songs through AI, right? For their movies. I'm so impressed. I'm gonna share this with you because I know you'll appreciate it because you're in nonprofit, but higher ed. We have a student here who has autism, very nonverbal, right? But he created a whole song through AI, wrote out the lyrics, right? And yesterday was like dancing and his heart out to it for his music video. And I thought to myself, like, wow, how amazing it is that you have this tool that someone that's autistic, that's as nonverbal, can create this song. I was like floored. I'm going to put it on my social media. I have the videos. But I'm just sitting here like how, and he was into it and he was directing and he was telling everyone what to do, but it's a tool for people, right?
And it's a money producer for people too, because we've seen people also develop content, classes, so many things that other people don't want to do or do not have the skill set to get to. So we've seen that actually happen where people are selling binders that are electronic, memos. Like there's so much stuff that is out there that literally you can make a business of.
Nice. So who should go to this summit? I know it's tomorrow in Aurora from 9:30 to 1. Was it 1?
Yes, 9:30 to 1.
9:30 to 1. So who should go to this summit? Who's like a perfect person for this?
Yeah, so the perfect persons that could attend this summit is individuals that are considering the entrepreneurship route or want to start their own small business. If you're a micro business owner already or a small business owner that has a storefront, there's also going to be discussions about, how to create contracts. As I mentioned before, there's also going to be AI discussions. There's going to be testimonials from other small business owners that have created or have gone into the next phase of their small business. And that's what we want individuals to leave with, the inspiration, the tools and resources in order for them to get their questions answered.
I love that. That's why I'm I'm excited that you're talking about it, because people need to know what's out there. I've actually spoken at one of the summits, because this is the fourth one, right?
Yes.
I believe I spoke at the second one year, and it was at Malcolm X College when they did it there. So it was a blast. I remember all the vendors. It was huge. There was a lot of people there. So for me, it was just a great experience to even speak on stage. So I know the value that it provides entrepreneurs and small business owners and startups. So I definitely highly encourage anyone that's listening that has time tomorrow to go from 9:30 to 1 to go attend, right?
Yes.
And see what's there. And even if you can't see all the workshops, at least visit the vendors and see what resources are out there.
And we will have the sessions in bilingual. Yeah. So it is going to be accessible to individuals that might not speak English fluently. So we will have translators on site.
Wow. Okay. So are you guys going to give what's it called? The translation, like the little mics, or how are you going to do that?
Yeah. So I believe the way it's going to be scheduled this year is that we're going to have sessions completely in Spanish.
Okay.
So there's going to be the same sessions, but just one in Spanish and one in English. So you get to choose.
Oh, wow. So that's going to be great because it's going to open up the doors to more people to get access to resources, right?
Absolutely.
So what made you choose to be part of this group? Like, why? There's so many organizations out there and you have your own business nonprofit. Why do you want to be part of this? Why are you part of the planning committee for this?
As I mentioned to you before, one of the biggest things is that people are not tapping into the micro business owners that are selling out in the streets or might be selling from, their garage or whatever it is, right? And we want to make sure that those individuals also are being tapped into and they are handed the tools and resources in order for them to attend these types of events and also understand what we do and other partners in the ecosystem do as well.
Okay, awesome. So I'm just out of curiosity, have you visited Albany Park lately?
I'm always down there.
Oh, really? You're always
talking about tacos, and I'm like, yo tengo mi taqueria over there.
Really? You know what? I don't know what taco spot over there that I like. I know that I love, like, if I'm looking for Middle East food, or I'm going over there, right? Yes. I know that if I'm looking for something like that, that's what I go there. And actually, my kids' clinic is still out there, so I still go to the clinic over there in that neighborhood. So what are the future plans for you? What do you foresee for Fempreneur?
Future plans right now, I guess the consistency of also having individuals understand what we're about, understanding that we are a nonprofit entity, which means we don't charge for our services. And if we do, it's very small, minimal amount. And getting people to understand philanthropy in our communities, particularly the Black and Latinx communities. Philanthropy is very much needed. And without your individual contributions of support, a nonprofit cannot stay alive.
Yeah, and that's really important for the nonprofit world, definitely, right? And I think Chicago is known for being one of the cities that have the most nonprofits, if I'm not mistaken, throughout the nation. We have so many nonprofits, so we're all about philanthropy. I think Chicagoans and Chicagoland area, we want to help, we want to support, we want to give back, especially if you grew up. Like in your case, you grew up in Chicago, you guys had to flee domestic violence, right? Like your story is an important story. And that's why I can see why you're doing what you're doing to help others, because I'm sure it's really personal for you, right?
Yes, it is. And I think that the mission for anyone that starts a nonprofit and is the founder of the nonprofit starts it because they went through something similar and they want to avoid others going through the same situation. Of course.
So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, where would they go?
Yes. So we have a website. It's www.fempreneurpoder.com. And via Instagram, you can reach us at fempreneurpoder. And we also have a LinkedIn. So we do have a whole business page, and it's Fempreneur Poder as well.
Awesome. So you guys, this is super exciting. Thank you so much for being here, giving me your morning. Thank you to the team here and WRMN 1410. You guys are listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show. You can learn more about us at wisealliancenetwork.com or go to WRMN1410.com. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great rest of your week. God bless.